The holiday weekend was nothing short of terrifying for thousands of passengers on a Carnival cruise ship hit by a violent storm that flooded hallways and battered parts of the ship.
Yeah, that 6-day Caribbean trip left sunny South Carolina, but things got very bumpy on the way back. Sam Brock has more.
For some 3,000 passengers cruising on the Carnival Sunshine this past week, a coastal storm turned their Caribbean dreams into a very scary nightmare.
I just prayed over and over and over for those waters to calm down.
After 5 days of nearly perfect weather, the 100,000-ton ship was slammed by wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour as it approached South Carolina's coast. Swells of nearly 20 feet tilting the ship, flooding corridors, unhinging doors, and terrifying passengers.
I recently went through cancer treatment, and this trip was about 3 times scarier than that.
Sharon Tutrone, a college professor, was celebrating with her 73-year-old mom, her caregiver, during those cancer treatments. Both women couldn't believe what they were witnessing.
The ship took a hit from a massive wave. It scared the heck out of me. It sounded like the ship split in two.
To make matters worse, frustrated passengers say the only communication coming from the captain Friday was just as the storm started.
We are expecting adverse weather condition as we sail back to Charleston and maybe arrive later than scheduled. We will continue to monitor the situation and provide you with an update early tomorrow morning.
The captain also telling passengers to be cautious when walking around the ship and that the vessel might move a little more than usual. Over 12 hours, the ship was pounded by fierce winds and rough seas. Several passengers we spoke with said they didn't receive any further information from the captain or crew until well into the next morning. And a screen displaying wind speeds and their velocity was replaced with a standby slate.
There was a crew door there, and they said they have seen the crew in there wearing life jackets. And at that point, I'm like, okay, they're wearing life jackets, but they're not telling us to do anything.
Daniel Taylor's cabin was on deck 2 in the front of the ship.
It sounded like a wrecking ball was hitting the ship, and it honestly sounded like it was tearing the ship apart.
Carnival later releasing a statement writing in part, Carnival Sunshine's return to Charleston was impacted by the weather and rough seas on Saturday. The weather's prolonged impact on the Charleston area delayed the ship's arrival. We appreciate the patience and understanding of all of our guests. The unsettling sequence, leaving thousands of passengers shaken, but thankfully there were no reports of any injuries.
I don't wish this on my worst enemy. It was awful.